You have often heard me talk about pig farming in great details. However, one of the easiest animal farming to venture into is goat farming. Goat farming is easy to start and easy to manage. They reproduce twice a year and can have 2 babies at a time. You have a wide range of alternatives as a farmer when it comes to growing your product line. One of the most adaptable, lucrative, and enjoyable ways to enter the livestock market is by raising goats. You must have a solid strategy in place before you look into loans for ranchers and hobby farms to assist you in financing your new division. Here are the steps you must take to begin raising goats. There are 2 primary sorts of goats to think about when raising them, either dairy or meat goats. Milk production is the main reason dairy goats are produced. The sale of this milk to cheese producers, eateries, grocery stores, and even lotion manufacturers is possible. The main reason for raising meat goats is for their meat. Remember that the demand for dairy goats is constantly higher and that keeping dairy goats is simpler than raising meat goats. A variety of small-scale or part-time livestock operations can benefit from the production of dairy goats. While some dairy goat farmers have had success pasteurizing goat milk and developing on-farm manufacturing operations, others have taken the plunge into the production of processed milk goods for retail sales, particularly specialty cheeses, yogurt, soap, and lotions. Additionally, milk may be sold to processors, typically on a local level. Although the markets for fluid milk and processed goods are significant, dairy goat farmers should also take into account the possibility of selling goats to hobbyists and young people working in dairy projects for vocational agriculture. At the end of their cycle, dairy goats can be sold off as meat goats to the local market or restaurants. Goats raised for meat are becoming increasingly popular worldwide. The most popular meat consumed worldwide is goat. Production of meat goats is increasing as a result of goats' ability to efficiently transform subpar forages into high-quality meat, milk, and skin goods for a variety of niche markets. Goat meat consumption is increasing as the world population increases. The fact that so many ethnic groups favored the meat due to religious beliefs is a major factor in this country's growing popularity of meat goats. They view goat milk, cheese, and meat as substitutes for other livestock. Fortunately, goats are rather low-maintenance animals. Compared to cows and other grazing livestock, they require far less land and feed. They do, however, virtually always eat. This means that you need to have enough land to comfortably support your goats. For every adult goat you are rearing, you should aim to have roughly 50 square feet of land. You'll need less additional feed the more land you have. You may always obtain loans for ranchers to pay for the purchase of additional property if you need to. As a beginner, it is essential to start small and grow big. When you start small, you can learn on the job. Learn how to manage mistakes and cope with workloads. You learn disease management and above all, you learn how to manage your employees. It's simple to push yourself to the limit when you're initially starting out while raising cattle of any kind. Start small instead. Before putting more money into more goats and increasing your company, start with only a few and make sure you're comfortable raising them. Keep in mind that you may always purchase more goats if you're certain that raising them is the best option for your company. In many places of the world, goats of any breed can be bred for meat production. However, meat goat carcasses typically have different proportions and are leaner and more muscular than dairy goat corpses. There are a number of goats that can be found around the world. However, in Africa, you can find some of these goats: West African dwarfs, the Boer goat, Savannah and Kalahari red. In Ghana, the most common goat is the West African dwarfs. This goat takes forever to mature, and even when they are fully grown, they look like they are 2 months old. It is advisable to invest in improving the herd of your animals through crossbreeding or buying pure breeds of either the Boer or Savannah goats. Although the importation process can be exhausting and financially draining, it is the only way to improve your herd and make serious money. Multiple births, twice yearly kidding, rapid growth, sound conformation, sound feet, legs, and mouth, and attention to color requirements for specific breeds are important factors in a selective breeding program. Multiple births should be a top objective in the selective breeding program because income is mostly obtained from the selling of kids. Give early-born children preference when choosing replacements, and choose a doe kid from that doe twice a year. Give early-born children preference when choosing replacements, and choose a doe kid from that doe twice a year. When a dilling weighs 40 to 50 pounds and is 4 to 5 months old, it is time to wean it. With your veterinarian, you should carefully plan out a preventative health program. The primary health concern for goats is probably internal parasite control. In general, what works for sheep in a certain rural location also works for goats. In most cases, problem disorders related to reproductive or kidding can be handled and treated similarly to sheep. When in doubt, consult a veterinarian. Goats need very secure fencing. Effective fencing has included net fencing, typical woven wire with 2 to 3 barbed wires above it, and 8-strand high tensile fence with electrified 3rd, 5th, and top wire. Goats only require a simple shelter. With the exception of cold, windy weather, where a basic, draft-free shed will certainly boost performance, especially if early kidding is practicable, natural shade and wind protection are sufficient. In times of extreme heat or cold, an open shed with 10 to 12 square feet per doe can be a useful shelter. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Like and share it with family and friends.